You are listening to BitsCast KE, conversations that matter to young people, bit by bit.
Mazungumzo ya kweli na jamii, uwezo kwa vijana, mabadiliko. Mazungumzo ya kweli na jamii, uwezo kwa vijana, mabadiliko.
Hello, this is BitsCast KE, conversations that matter to young people. And on another episode, we are talking about teenage pregnancy, basically the third episode of our season 2. According to the Kenya Demographic and Health Survey 2022 report, 15% of the girls aged between 15 and 19 have already begun childbearing, with 12% being mothers and 3% pregnant with their first child. Teenage pregnancy is a complex problem with no easy solutions. However, by talking about it openly and honestly, we can be able to raise awareness of the issue and identify ways that we can deal with this issue at hand. I'm your host, Alex Oburu, and I'm joined today by Sherifa Salim, an instructional designer at Nairobi's Trust, gender-based violence advocate, and equally a product designer. Sherifa, how are you feeling?
I'm good, Alex. How are you?
I guess you're the first person who asked me how I'm doing. Thank you so much. I'm fine now. Basically, so around this conversation that we are having today, before we jump into the conversation, what is one thing that is outstanding about you?
I feel like I'm like a river.
Mm-hmm.
I flow no matter what happens. I keep going.
You're like a river, you
yeah,
flow.
I'm like a river.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always flowing. I'm always going. So no matter who's trying to stop me or drag me behind, I'll just go. Yeah, that's very unique about.
And I understand you. You've said that you champion for a lot of things. So basically, you starting with saying you're like a river, which means that regardless of obstacle, challenges, and any other thing, you will try to succeed with the little resources or anything that you have, right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and thank you so much. So what do you know about teenage pregnancy exactly? What is teenage pregnancy?
Teenage pregnancy is a girl between, let's say, the age of 12 to 19 getting pregnant. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and most of the time you find that these girls have no choice as to who gets them pregnant, and that's very important because most of the people that get them pregnant are older men. Yeah. And
just to build up the conversation, what makes these older men take advantage of the younger girls?
Most of these girls don't have every resource they need, like pads, money for clothes and panties. So you find that these men take advantage of that. Most of them are not exposed enough. So these men also take advantage of the fact that these girls don't know that it's defilement. Having sex with them is defilement. And also, because of experience, these older men use it to entice them. When I'm Rambo, no one will love you like I do. Manipulation. I can say it's manipulation in a way.
Yeah, and when someone is younger, they can be easily manipulated by just a few words. And
yes, because their brain is not even matured enough. And in Africa, our parents don't talk to us about these things. So lying to someone is so easy. Yeah, it's so easy.
So you just tell them that you're beautiful and that's it.
Yeah, if I remember my experience, the things that enticed me were very stupid. I can say stupid. I'm a very little things, but at that time they were so huge for me, and I was like, wow, sawaipata like another opportunity kama hii. Yeah.
So now that you've mentioned, your experience, because a lot of people that are listening might want to get like real life experience from a particular person. How was your experience? How did it start? And how did it end?
Hey.
And exactly like basically your background, if you're still maybe in school or something.
Right now, or am I in the past?
Yeah, in the past.
Okay, so I was in Form 1 when I met the baby's father, my baby daddy. I was in Form 1, and he used to treat me so nicely. that I overlooked his bad traits. And he was very patient, by the way. We never had sexual intercourse until I was in Form 3, third term. Form 3, third term was the first time.
You've talked about he was very good, very sweet.
Yeah.
Can you define further, like?
Okay. He used to buy me a lot of things, clothes, snacks. He would give me money before I went back to school because I was in boarding. And by the way, I was sponsored by Equity. So you find that Equity will give you shopping and school fees and a bit of pocket money, which was mostly not enough. So my mom would be like, si umshapewa 1,500.
Yeah.
What more do you need? Hiyo ndio utaenda nayo salon and buy yourself, because I'm asthmatic, buy yourself an inhaler. Now you find after you've gone to the salon and you've bought an inhaler, you don't have anything else left. And then this guy comes and gives you 2K. Hey. So, unaona, like, that makes you love him more.
And by that time, was he working? Was he also like...
He wasn't working, but he was living, like, the plotty that he was living in was his parents.
Oh, okay.
So he wasn't paying rent.
Yeah.
Now the little money he would get was at his disposal because he's not paying rent and he's not buying food. Yeah.
Okay, it's making a lot of sense. Now that, basically we get back to Form 3, second term. Was it second term or third term?
Form 3, third term.
Third term. So how did he react to when you told him, like, basically you're pregnant and stuff?
No, I didn't get pregnant in Form 3, third term. I got pregnant in Form 4, second term. So when he was very happy, he was happy. And now, come to think of it, it was his plan, because he wasn't even surprised that I was pregnant. For me, I thought it was typhoid. I was going to be tested for typhoid. And
when
then,
you're in school?
No, it was during the holiday, the August holiday. And I told him I don't feel too good. And he took me to a hospital. Now, when I went to the doctor is like, give me your urine sample. And I'm like, do you test typhoid using urine?
So you gave them the urine?
Yeah, I gave them the urine, and the doctor told me you're pregnant. Hey.
How did you react to that first?
I was shocked. I left. I didn't even sit. Like, immediately I was told I was pregnant. I just walked out of the office. Yeah, of the doctor's office.
Were you alone or?
No, we were with him. So I left him there and I went to his place. I started crying. I was shocked. And then he came back with food, snacks. He was happy. Hey, sasa nitakuwa baba mtu.
And during all this time, so you were told that you're pregnant and you're back at his place. At what time did you tell your family?
I didn't tell anyone, by the way. I told my best friend who bought for me like medication for abortion. But I was afraid of taking the medication because they were this kienyeji medication and it was boiled and put in a 5-liter bottle. I was supposed to drink 3 cups per day for 3 days. And then the pregnancy would just dissolve. But I didn't take it. I was scared. So I said, let me go back and do my KCSE. And then after I'm done, I'll come and have an abortion. But I didn't do it. I lied to my mom that ini dawa ya kifua, so don't give anyone. When I come back, I'll use it. So she knew it was medicine for my asthma. Yeah. So after I did my exam, I came back and told my big sister that, I'm pregnant and this medication is for abortion. The moment I told her, she went and alimwaga yote, like kwa choo. So I didn't take it and she convinced me not to have an abortion. Yeah, so I didn't do it. And then after like 2 weeks, that's when my mom found out that I'm pregnant. Yeah.
How was the experience like? How did she react?
She was mad. No, she didn't find out after 2 weeks. By the time she found out, I think I was like 3 months, 4 months pregnant, end of December.
Sorry.
So she wanted to take me to have an to remove the pregnancy. She was like, itakuwa aibu and all that. So I ran away from home. Yeah. I ran away and then I came back after like I was at 7 months pregnant when I came back. Yeah. So her anger was ilikuwa imeisha, so she didn't have a problem with me.
Yeah. Now, so they have accepted that you're pregnant and probably things are not moving badly as when everything was starting. So during that period of you were going to deliver and you delivered and also after, how was the support from your parents, your friends and relative and equally the person who got you pregnant?
So after 7 months, I came back home when I was 7 months pregnant, but I didn't stay home. I went back to stay with the baby daddy. Yeah, but it was like a community thing. The entire plot, it was family that was staying there. So we used to stay together. But my mom knew where I was and we were talking. My sister knew where I was and everyone, my aunts and everyone, and even my friends. After I gave birth, 3 weeks after I gave birth is when I went back to stay with my mom because of some issues with the, let's say, could I call her my mother-in-law? My almost mother-in-law. We had a few issues because she was very rude and disrespectful to me. So I defended myself and I went back to my mom's place. But the baby daddy and I, we were still okay. He was very supportive, by the way. Yeah.
So this whole time, basically the person has been supportive and equally you had like your bigger sister who was supportive and all that. Now, this brings me to the next part whereby we have people who do not, number one, have the support and you understand the African context whereby if they get you pregnant, you have brought disgrace to the family and shame to the family. So basically, what do you think would be the first step of a particular person, let's say a young lady? We understand that they are quite young, you know, you've talked about their brain not fully developed and all that, and they can't be manipulated. What should be their first step when they find out that they are pregnant?
I think seeking help or talking to someone a bit older with the same experience is very helpful because they help you clear your head. Yeah. And also if you can access a youth-friendly center, like in Dandora, we have MSF. That's a youth-friendly center that you can visit.
What exactly is a youth-friendly center? Because someone might be listening and they don't know exactly what's a youth-friendly center. So
basically, those are places that have specialists like doctors, counselors, specifically for the youth in that area. They also have SRHR services for free for the youth. And also activities like playing the pool, Monopoly and all that for the youth. So you just walk in and you get assistance.
Okay. Yeah. Now, to bring you back to the question that I asked earlier on, and you mentioned that the first thing they should do is speak to an elderly person who might have gone through the same experience, get a youth-friendly clinic or hospitals. Is there any other thing they should be considering to do?
Talking to the person who got you pregnant, because most of the time, decisions of keeping the baby or not depends on that person. Most of the ladies who have abortions are because mimba ilirukwa, if we can say that. So talking to that person can also help, unless it was rape, which you can't talk to that person. But if it's a person you're dating, it's very important to let them know that I'm pregnant. Yeah.
And this works in, all the other, even much older people who are maybe 21, 22 and they got pregnant and they don't even babies. Know.
They're also children. Because even me at 26 right now, if I get pregnant,
you don't even maybe,
it's still scary. So it works the same. Just talk to someone, before making any decision.
Yeah, and basically talk to someone, figure out, help them, let them help you figure out a lot of things, and also just keeping on associating with people. Now, in your context, you mentioned that, you ran away from home because it was not favorable and safe for you.
Yeah.
And this does not only happen to you. And we have had a lot of stories whereby you get pregnant and, the family is not as supportive as they're supposed to be. Exactly. What do you think is bringing about this type of character, mostly from our parents who are raised in quote unquote traditional households?
I think the first thing is fear, because fear of failure. You feel like your child has failed in life.
Mm-hmm.
The moment they get pregnant, you feel like maisha. Another thing is shame, because my mom was like, marafiki zangu watasema nini? So shame among your peers, their peers, the parents' peers. And also, I think mostly it's just fear and shame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because if you're able to pass through the fear and the shame, most parents are very supportive of their teenage pregnant children.
Yeah. So to divert the conversation a bit, do you think teenage pregnancy, of course, we have talked about the research that was done by Kenya Demographic and Health Survey, and highlighting that they have approximately around 15% of the girls aged 15 to 19 getting pregnant. Do you think teenage pregnancy is something that can be controlled?
Yes, it can be controlled. I think the first thing that we should do is be very serious and very, can I say,
strict,
yes, strict with the guys that are getting these girls pregnant, especially if they're older. Yeah, we should be very strict with that, because most of the time you find that they solve it kwa chief. The parents and the guy solve the issue at the chief's place. We should be very serious with that. And also sex education is very important to these girls as from 9 years. Yeah.
You have said that we should be serious and let law play its way when it coming to these people who are quite older and they're getting these women pregnant, or rather these girls pregnant. So do you think if we get these different, perpetrators to be taken to jail, now who is taking care of the kid?
Which kid? The kid that was born?
Yeah.
Most of these guys don't take care of the kid. Like my baby daddy doesn't take care of my child. We broke up and I take care of the child on my own. So most of them don't even help. So if they are jailed, it's even better.
Yeah, because it prevents them from, keeping other girls pregnant. Because it's also something that we have seen, that the same person gets one person pregnant, the next time it's another girl, probably the same girl who's going to school and all that. So it can be used as a way to ensure that our girls who are going to school, they can stay until they finish their courses. And is there hope, basically, from where you sit, for people who have just got pregnant right now? And you can share a bit of your story, like how was life after, you broke up with your boyfriend, because the kid is still there. They have to eat, other medical expenses and all that. So how have you been faring on?
So it hasn't been easy, especially the first year that we broke up. I think I was doing my internship. So after I left, I went back to my mom's place. My mom was like, I should go back to school and study. So that's when I joined Nairobi's. My baby was like 3 months old. So it was very hard, but I managed. Now when I was going for my internship, you start dressing up and looking good because of the internship. The guy started feeling insecure and being unsupportive to me. So after, he started being very aggressive and very mean. So I broke up with him. And now he started stalking me with a knife. When I would go back home, he would follow me with a knife.
What?
Yeah. It was bad.
So did you report it anywhere to ensure that you're safe, or?
No, I told my mom at first, but then I think it wasn't that serious until the day now he actually pulled out the knife and wanted to stab me. Now that's when it was serious, and my mom and I reported it, and he was arrested for a while. Now after that, he stopped bothering me completely. I was but the trauma the trauma was so bad that I was so scared, even walking alone and all that. But I managed. Yeah, I managed. And from there, I've been doing parenting on my own because he was dangerous to me. Now, what about the child?
Mhm.
I was thinking about that because he went into drugs. Now he's doing drugs. He's violent. He's aggressive. He's dangerous,
Mhm.
basically. So I've been doing it all alone, and it's not been easy, but it's not impossible. Yeah, it's not impossible. You get work, you provide for your child, and you get support from family.
Yeah. What inspires you to keep going?
My child. She inspires me because I want to give her a better life than the one I had. And also I want her to be so exposed. By the time she's, let's say, 14, I don't want things like money, pizza to be exciting her. I don't want like those petty things to be exciting her. I also want her to have a career, and I don't want teenage pregnancy to interfere with that. So she's my biggest inspiration.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And basically, as we start to wind up on this conversation, we have talked about this issue a lot, as in Kenya in general, and you
Yeah.
can tell me exactly if you had this experience or not. What do you think are the hopes for the future of teenage mothers in Kenya in terms of social and also like economical development? Like, do we have structures and projects in place to ensure that even if someone got pregnant, let's say in high school, right now it's easier for them to even go back to high school and continue where they left. But do we have other structures that you know of that put them in a place whereby they can be socially and economically free?
I think the government does not have the structures, but NGOs do.
Mhm.
You find that there's a lot of NGOs that are supporting these mothers, especially in the slum areas. There's a lot of NGOs supporting them towards economic independence. So we have structures, but they are not government-based. They are non-governmental structures that work. Yeah, and because like in Nairobi, it's the center that I was studying in, we had a free daycare for teenage mothers. So that was very nice because now you can come with your child to school and feel relaxed because she's
Mhm.
just around. But I think we can do better, Pia. We can do better in terms of supporting them because most of them really have the drive to move forward, but they don't have the opportunities to do so and the empowerment to do so.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So if you would have had, like, let's say, the power of a president also, what laws would you put in place? And also, like, what structures will you think of putting into place to ensure that, number one, we curb teenage pregnancy, and number two, basically, people who are already pregnant, they can get to be taken care of?
I think the first law I would put is allowing contraception for teenagers because as of now it's illegal, but it's very important for these girls to be able to know and to access the different types of contraceptives around. Also, the laws like implementing this law of defilement should be very serious, and I think even for women, I know there are also women that are doing it with younger guys.
Mhm.
I think that law should be very strict because most of people just dodge it. It should be very strict. And also in terms of structures supporting teenage mothers, we can have like in TVET centers, opportunities that are just there for the teenage or the young mothers.
Mhm.
Opportunities for them, like the way we have the 1/3 gender rule, we can have that, but for girls who have kids.
Mhm.
That would really help. And also having more daycares at work and at school would be really nice. Affordable and free daycares. That would really help because most of these girls can't even study because they'll ask you ntacha wapi mtoto na pesa gani.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, possibly. So do you think also introduction of daycares to, workplaces and also like places that students go to, but if we can concentrate on workplaces, will be effective to ensure that if someone gets pregnant and, they have their kids safely, they might not even be a young mother also.
Yeah, true.
They can be able to see their child and equally do their work at the same time.
I think daycares, it's very important to have them in workplaces, even if it's not free.
Mhm.
Yeah, but it's very important because the biggest fear for any mom is their child not being safe. So if they can be around their child while working, it will even increase productivity for everyone. So I think the daycare thing is very important, and it should be implemented in almost all workplaces.
Mhm. Now, we understand that your story is very inspiring. Now, when you look at the, things that you did and you feel like, you did them wrong, what are some of these things that you can share with other people that they can be able to take advantage of and look at them from a bright side of perspective and be like, I did this, it was wrong, please do this, it will be quite beneficial for you?
Yeah, I think the first thing is not listening to your parents. Your parents are always right. No matter what you think, they're always right. My mom used to tell me, wanaume hawakupendi, wanataka tu kukutumia.
Mhm.
And at that time, you would feel like she anitaki and all that. But in real sense, she was right. So listening to your parents or your guardians is very important. Also, I can't tell these girls avoiding men because it's very hard. That time your hormones are raging. It's hard to avoid them. But I think knowing what you want in life helps a lot, because if you know, I want to be a doctor, let's say, you will not, and you're sure you want to be a doctor about it, you will not let anyone come in between you and your dreams. And also values. Values is very important. It's very important for everyone to have values. Like, there are these ladies that used to say to high school, Mimi, I will not have sex until niolewe.
Mhm.
We would laugh at them, but in real sense, it's very important for people to hold their values and to stand with them. So I would advise people, like young girls, just hold on to your values. Avoid bad company, because most of the time, the things that happen to you are because of your friends. Like my baby daddy, I met him through my friend, honestly. Yeah, I didn't know him before that. Mi nilikuwa those girls who would avoid every guy in the neighborhood. But then your friend tells you, ni mpoa, you can talk to you can talk to him. Namjua, ni beshte yangu. So you feel relaxed. So also avoiding bad company is very important. The things that we are told, but then they sound as cliche, they're very important to hold on to. Yeah.
Yeah, we have talked a lot. And as we wrap up this conversation, we understand that this topic about like teenage pregnancy is not something that we can just exhaust in one sitting.
Yeah.
Would you share from your own perspective on why it is important to bring this discussion to, let's say, a bigger audience in terms of parents, religious leaders and all that? Because at the end of the day, they make certain rules from the churches, from the mosque and everything that affect the students, affects their kids, affects their relatives and all that. Why should we bring this discussion closer to the community?
I feel like if the community really impacts a lot on these girls and even boys, their lives. So if we are able to talk to parents and let them understand that these things are normal, first of all, your child having feelings is normal, and this is how you can do, this is what you can do to help out. Also talking to church leaders, this would really help, because these children or these teenagers will feel the support coming from the community. Imagine if you can be able to tell your mom, there's a guy who wants to have sex with me. What should I do? Do you think I'll get pregnant? That's very huge, because your mom will tell you, maybe if you use protection, no, because most of us are afraid of our parents. So it's very important to bring this conversation home and make it so big that everyone has no choice but to support.
Yeah.
If you find like a teenager with an old ndudhi guy, kwa giza usiku, you speak out, because you know that this man has a potential of ruining this child's life. So if everyone was aware that everyone would know sexual reproductive health, and everyone would know the rights these children have, it would be very important for us. And also support from the government would be very important. If we would have focal persons, like the way we have gender-based violence focal people, we can also have that for teenage pregnancy. That would be very important.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was Sherifa Salim, an instructional designer working at Nairobi's Trust, and equally a gender-based violence advocate and a product designer. She has shared a lot of insights in relation to teenage pregnancy and what can be done about it from her perspective. And before we just release her to go, you might Mark. And before we release her to go, we just want to get basically where we can get you in terms of social media, in case anyone wants you to speak to their girls and all that in relation to teenage pregnancy and also gender-based violence. Where can they get you?
In social media, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, I'm Sherifa Salim. My email is sherifacreative@gmail.com. That's my personal email.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming. This conversation was very inspiring. We picked a lot of things from the conversation, from the moment of understanding where you stand as a person, speak to people, find youth-friendly services, and all that. We can't be able to cover everything in relation to teenage pregnancy, but it was great having Sherifa and also having you joining this conversation live. I'm your host, Alex Oburu, and until next time, keep it locked. BitsCast KE, conversations that matter to young people.
Mazungumzo ya kweli na jamii, uwezo kwa vijana, mabadiliko. Mazungumzo ya kweli na jamii, uwezo kwa vijana.